Well, if you've been watching Tidying Up with Marie Kondo, then you probably feel incredibly inspired, at least until the episode's over, and then you might look around again and feel a little bit overwhelmed. At least that's how I used to feel. But one of my favorite principles of Marie's has to do with paper clutter, and that is that the goal is to not keep anything. It's an awesome tactic for the new year, but what do we do with all the old paper clutter that we've accumulated when we didn't have that philosophy? Coming up next, I want to share with you how you can get through your old paper clutter extremely quickly, and then also how you can set yourself up for success in the new year with just a box from the Dollar Tree and some manila folders. I'll share that with you coming up next. Well, hi, I'm Dawn from The Minimal Mom, and if we haven't met before, I am married to Tom, and we have 4 kids, ages 4 through 9. And so basically, we enjoy sharing about our family's minimalist lifestyles. All that means is that we found a way to live really simply, and it's really awesome because we live in kind of an overwhelming world right now, right? And so I enjoy sharing tips and tricks of how you can achieve that quickly. And for any of you who have been following me for any length of time, you know I'm not a naturally organized person, and so I think that's why I've kind of just tended toward the extreme of minimalism, because the less I have to manage, the better our life seems to be. And so, especially when it comes to paper clutter, and it was a huge problem in our house for a really long time because I don't get a kick out of organizing. I don't think it's fun to have matching file folders and labels and all of that kind of stuff. So I love you people who do. My mom is like that. I have a twin sister who's like that. Like, you're awesome people and we all need you in our lives. But for the rest of us who just really get overwhelmed by paper clutter, I have some really simple tricks for you today that I think they've been working for us, and so my hope is that it's going to work for you as well. So like I said, I've been watching Marie Kondo's show. It's a great show. I learned something new from every episode, which has been really fun. And so let's talk about paper clutter, because I love one of her tips, and that is anytime we have paper come into the house of any form, our goal is to not keep it. So we literally are only keeping the absolute necessities. I do have a couple other videos that I go into a little more depth, but I just want this to be a really quick video, because I know if you've been feeling inspired by her show and watching other people get through their stuff, it is inspiring, and I want you to feel like you can do it. And I think what our biggest fear is that we're gonna get everything pulled out on the kitchen table and we're not gonna have time to go through it all, and then our house is gonna feel like an even bigger mess than it did before. So let's get started walking through these steps. Step 1 is, yes, I am gonna have you bring all of your paper clutter out onto the table, but don't worry, we're not gonna go through and hold each piece one by one, because I don't have time for that. And so usually time is what's standing in the way, or not having the threat of Marie coming to our house tomorrow to see if we've done our homework, right? Here's what I want you to do, is just do a quick sort through the piles. Throw away anything that you know you don't need to keep. Magazines, catalogs, newspapers, old store ads, old sports schedules, field trip forms for your kids, old book order forms. I mean, it's incredible the things that get piled up and shoved aside. So do a quick sort through to recycle or throw anything that you don't need. Of course, shred anything with personal information on it. But then anything else that's left, all we're gonna do is throw it into a box, label it 2018. Like on mine, I put 2018, keep just in case, right? We're moving away from this moving forward, but for now, just be able to deal with this quickly. Keep just in case, discard on December 31st, 2019. So basically anything I'm putting in here, it's just in case I might need it. I know, normally we don't like to keep things for just in case, but when it comes to paper stuff, if you just really don't know, throw it in the box and we'll keep it just in case. But this is what's gonna allow us to have a fresh start for this new year. And so throw it in, don't worry about it, label it, and we're done with all of the old paper clutter in like, what, 15 or 20 minutes. Okay, so now here's how we're gonna set ourselves up for success in the new year. So all we need are some manila folders. I also invested in a label maker because I'm trying to be a more organized person, because it really does make life easier, but it's also easy for like Tom to find things and stuff like that. We're gonna have some folders. You can get these at the Dollar Tree, and then something to keep them in. So I keep mine in a file cabinet next to my desk. I love these little file boxes from the Dollar Tree. When you fold them up, they're just like a smaller size file box. And so I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna put my files from last year into here as our next step, but you could keep your file folders in here as well, and it would fit just about anywhere, because Again, our goal is to not keep hardly anything, so we really don't need that much room. So let me show you just some of the files that I set up. What I do is I put the year on it. So all of my files are labeled 2019 so that they'll be in my file folder throughout this year, and then at the end of the year, I'm gonna store them in one of those boxes. So again, I'll show you how I do that with our ones from 2018 since we're done with those now. So here's just a few examples of things that I create files for. Bills paid, stuff for our health insurance where we have to keep receipts, receipts for 2019, taxes, any tax receipts that we need to keep has its own file. I have a folder for the 2018-2019 school years. And also remember one other tip of Marie's when it comes to creating your folders. Don't make too many categories. For example, now I only have one folder for receipts for the current year. In the past, I would have had receipts for clothing and for the house and for the vehicles and all kinds of different things. But now I just make one, and because I just keep it for 1 year, it doesn't actually accumulate that much stuff. And again, in my last video, I talk about I don't scan things or do stuff digital. This is the easiest method for me. I will make one exception. When anything comes in for the kids' school that's like a calendar item, a sports schedule, conferences, plays, field trips, I do put those things directly into my phone as a calendar event, because what's the problem? If I put it in a folder, I'll never see it again and I'll totally forget. Even if I put it on the side of the fridge, it clutters up the fridge, but it's still something that I have to like keep checking and keep remembering. So I'm not actually taking it off my mind if it's hanging on the fridge. The only way to truly get it off my mind so it's not something that I have to keep thinking about, or every time I walk by I'm like, oh yeah, when is that, is to put it into my phone and to set reminders. And so again, I'm not really a huge make everything digital person, but when it comes to scheduling and calendar events, that is the one exception that I make. Okay, and then my final step is, like I said, I do have my old folders from last year that are labeled 2018. So I am just taking one of these boxes, writing 2018 on it, putting these in here, and all of this, I'm gonna keep it for 1 year, just in case I would need anything. I won't, like I can almost guarantee you that I won't, but just in case, you know. And it was so easy now to swap out at the end of the year and to start a new year. You know, if there were any like warranties that you want to keep, it's really nice when it's organized by year, because generally I can know the year that I purchased, you know, something. So if there's any warranties, and if you have other like business files, or a lot of you said if you had medical files that you need to keep, I really like these. We have real estate files we have to keep for 6 years or whatever, but it's not more than this in any given year. So I love how easy it is just to use these small boxes to put everything in. So I hope that helps. Of course, if you have any questions, leave it below, and tips too. We love hearing your tips of how you keep paper clutter organized at your house. Oh, and yes, as soon as the mail comes in, I take it to the garbage and recycling. I know some of you also said like if you get stuff in the mail, instead of having to shred it so you can deal with it right away, you just get it wet, wad it up in a ball, and you can throw it into the garbage if it has any personal information. So I love reading and hearing your tips. I know other people appreciate them as well. So be sure to leave those below. Also, we'd love it if you subscribe. We're gonna be doing more with the community section on here, which is really fun. And so you only see that if you're subscribed. So be sure to subscribe. You can also find me on Instagram, and I look forward to keeping in touch with you.